What is up, my ookies? Jesus. All right, great way to start. What is up, my rookies? Let me just make sure this thing is turned on. Okay, it is. What is up, my rookies? It is your host, Riles B, and we are going to keep it short and sweet today. I just got off the phone, and we need to talk about the conversation I had. Because I'm not going to lie, I am fired the fuck up right now. So I'm doing the High Rocks competition in November, which I'm stoked about. Also my first time. I also just started going back to the gym. So if you guys have any pro tips, feel free to leave me a comment. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just going for it. But yeah, if you have any recommendations, suggestions, advice, like I said, I'm open to it. Getting back to the main point. I was supposed to be doing this competition with someone. And I called that person and was like, yo, have you been doing your training? I'm stoked. I just got out of the gym. And this person was like, no, I haven't. I was like, yo, what the fuck? You know, just like messing with them, giving them a hard time. And then I was like, you know, do you want to create an accountability program? Like, we can send each other videos. We could make like a cute little chat, whatever. And this person says to me, I don't like accountability. Moving on, and then proceeds to try and like ask me a question to get off the topic. And I was like, whoa. We need to go back. What do you mean? You don't like accountability? And this person would not answer the question. They just kept saying, moving on. And maybe not the best response, but I said, you can't avoid everything. If this is something you're feeling in your life, that you don't like accountability, that you can't be accountable to yourself, my question for you is, why? Just sit with that for a minute. Why can't or don't you like to be accountable to yourself and to others? Being accountable to yourself and to others is the only way you are ever going to get where you're going. It's the only way you can create consistent habits. It's the only way that you can go after your dreams, is if you hold yourself accountable to say the things, or to do the things that you're going to do. So the next question I pose to you is, if you can't, and I say that in air quotes for anyone who's not watching the video, if you can't or don't like to be held accountable, is it because you're afraid of something? Better yet, is it because you're afraid of yourself? Are you afraid that you're going to not live up to yourself? Are you afraid you can't meet your own expectations? And my challenge to you is, if the answer is yes to any one of those questions, if you still tried and maybe didn't meet the 100% bar, maybe you met the 80% bar, maybe you still tried, you still gave effort, but you weren't perfect, is that still okay? Are you still safe? Did you still try something new? Are you still a better version of yourself because you at least tried? You at least put in the effort. I think being accountable and showing up for yourself, it goes so far beyond being perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time. And when you show up for yourself, you can absolutely then show up for others. But if you can't show up for yourself, how can you show up for others, right? Accountability is about proving to yourself that you are worth it, that you can trust yourself, that you can do big things. If you're a dreamer and you have somewhere you want to go, a goal you want to accomplish, If there's a job out there that you want to get, you can't do any of those things without holding yourself accountable to the tasks, and I say that in air quotes again, or the things that need to get done, right? If you can't hold yourself accountable to challenging yourself, to learning, to growing, this life is about being a steward to learning, to growing. It's about challenging yourself to show up and to grow in a new way. And that is the definition of accountability. Are you going to show up in a new way and learn and grow and push yourself? And this all comes back to those questions I asked you in the beginning. Why are you not doing it? What is holding you back? And so after this podcast, if you're really struggling to show up for yourself, because I get it's not easy. And, some of us are just built with that proactive, resilient, want to go after it nature. And some of us are not. And beyond that, you have a world that is just instilling massive fear in you every day and telling you why you shouldn't do the damn thing, why you should stay stuck, why you shouldn't go after your dreams, why you should be poor and stupid and never go after the things that you truly want in your heart. But I say fuck all that. I say, even when those things are telling you no, I challenge you to question why those things are true. And if they, do they actually apply to you? Okay. If there is fear, do you really need to believe it? Or can you still take steps and be accountable and go after your dreams? You're in control of your life. And I am going to be completely honest, right? My life has looked definitely not how I wanted it to up to this point. And some could blame the world for it. I could blame the economy. I could blame the industries that I'm in. I could blame my boss and my manager for not getting the pay I want, not being in a culture that I want. Oh, I could blame my, X company, X industry for laying me off. I could blame. And so can you. But it comes down to accountability. And for me personally, when I looked at my own life, I realized I wasn't holding myself accountable to my dreams because I didn't trust myself to do so. I didn't trust myself to go after a job that had higher pay or to ask my boss for a raise because I deserved it. I didn't trust myself to start a podcast all those years ago and actually commit to it every day, to hold myself accountable. I tried, but I didn't hold myself accountable because I didn't trust myself. Now, what are we doing? We have scheduled content. We have an output that we need to hit every week because I'm holding myself accountable to go after my dreams. Because only when you do that can you achieve what you want to achieve. So a little bit of tough love here. Stop blaming everyone else. Stop putting the external circumstances of the world as the forefront for why you can't do whatever you want to do. And I'm going to pose those questions again. Why can you not be accountable? Are you afraid of something? Do you not trust yourself? And it's okay if you don't trust yourself, but what I encourage you to do is take the risk anyway. Do one small thing that will push you out of your comfort zone, that will push the needle in the direction you want to go, that will push you to be accountable. Go to the gym just one time this week. Maybe you don't even work out. Maybe you just actually walk in, show up, and walk out, but you still went to the gym. Do the one small thing and prove to yourself that you can hold yourself accountable, and then build upon that. Do another small thing and another small thing. And then one day you're going to get where you're going. I know I'm not there yet. I'm not in a home that I want to be in. Okay, I'm sorry. That was so aggressive. Mom, I love you so much. Let me put it this way. I have big dreams, right? I want to own my own business. I want to host my own podcast, and I want to live in a big, freaking huge house one day. I am not near any of those things right now. I still live with my mother. I just got my first stable job 8 months ago. But I know that if I show up and I hold myself accountable to going after my dreams, then one day I will get there. Let this be the moment in history. You all heard it first. You heard it right here. I will prove to the world that resilience is what gets you where you're going. Because that is what Expert Rookie is all about. It's about building a culture of resilience within the next generation. It's about you showing up for yourself. It's about you putting yourself first and your dreams first and taking those micro steps every day to trust yourself. Because here's the thing, you can do the damn thing. I believe in you. If no one else believes in you, I believe in you. And now what I want you to do and shocking, she can't talk. What I want you to do and what I want to challenge you to do over this next week is to take one micro step towards your goal and one micro step towards believing in yourself. That's it. That's all I'm asking you to do, is 2 little baby micro steps for yourself. And hold yourself fucking accountable. I know you can do it. Again, a little bit of tough love in there. But anyway, we're keeping it short and sweet today. Ponder on that. Let me know what you think down below. And again, as always, if you are feeling inspired to do an act of goodwill, help me get out of my mother's house. Or you like what I'm trying to do, you want to be a part of the culture of resilience, give me 5 stars, put a like down below, and subscribe. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Cheers.